حبيها حكمة سجعيل الحسايو حمدي حقوقا لبانا حمدي حقوقا لبانا غير
حيدتنا تشكي مقاو حبينا حيدتنا تشكي مقاو حبينا
حمدي وخبو حبيها حرمين دمر كان بحليرو حمدي حق صور يا ناي حمدي حق صور يا ناي
حيدتنا تشكي مقاو حبينا حيدتنا تشكي مقاو حبينا
حمدي وخبو حبيها حرمين دمر كان بحليرو حمدي حق صور يا ناي حمدي حق صور يا ناي
حيدتنا تشكي مقاو حبينا حيدتنا تشكي مقاو حبينا
حمدي وخبو حبيها إلا حاوي وهذا كر حلال حبي سجعيل كر حلال إلا حاوي وهذا كر حلال حبي سجعيل كر حلال حيدتنا
تشكي مقاو حبينا حيدتنا تشكي مقاو حبينا
حمدي وخبو حبيها إلا حاوي وهذا كر حلال حبي سجعيل كر حلال إلا حاوي وهذا كر حلال حبي سجعيل كر حلال حيدتنا
تشكي مقاو حبينا حيدتنا تشكي مقاو حبينا
حمدي وخبو حبيها جعيل كوبيلوني حنحن حنوني وبري حلحن جعيل كوبيلوني حنحن حنوني وبري حلحن حشودي وربي حلحي حشودي وربي حلحي هل جعيل كوبيلوني حنحن حنوني وريري حلحن جعيل كوبيلوني حنحن حنوني وربي حلحن حشودي وبري حلحي حشودي وبري حلحي حيدتنا
تشكي مقاو حبينا حيدتنا تشكي مقاو حبينا
حمدي وخبو حبيها حيدتنا
تشكي مقاو حبينا حيدتنا تشكي مقاو حبينا
حمدي وخبو حبيها مركن روح الغم قور حلال حمديان وحشين قور حلال والدكينا حرمي قور حلال يا حولك ديب قور حلال مهر لي وحراي قور حلال آخر ويك وحرون قور حلال حيدتنا
تشكي مقاو حبينا حيدتنا تشكي مقاو حبينا
حمدي وخبو حبيها مركب روح الخام قور حلال حمديان وهشين قور حلال والدكينا حرمي قور حلال يا حولك ديب قور حلال مهر لي وحراي قور حلال عقل وين قور حرون قور حلال حيدتنا
تشكي مقاو حبينا حيدتنا تشكي مقاو
هشي نقول حلال والدكينا حرمية يقول حلال يا نحولك دي يقول حلال مهلي وحراي يقول حلال عقل وين يقول حلال يقول حلال حيدي دادا جركي حيدي دادا
جركي مقاوة حبيبي حيدي دادا جركي مقاوة حبيبي
حمدي حمدي
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Nasser Saleh and I am a volunteer and on the board of directors for the African Family Revival Organization here in Kitchener, Ontario, and I will be the MC for today's event. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that today we are gathered on the traditional territory of the Arawandran, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples. We are situated on the Haldeman Tract, the land promised to the Six Nations that includes 6 miles on each side of the Grand River. The African Family Revival Organization has been building strong ties with the African community throughout Waterloo region for more than 8 years. In recent years, Afro has worked closely with some of the community's most at-risk groups, the youth and the older adults. Focusing on those two key themes, Afro has created the Support Through the Generations program, which aims to connect both groups so that not only Afro can support them, but they can learn from and support each other as well. The Support Through the Generations program has 3 core goals. Number 1, helping older adults with dementia and their care partners with systems navigation, accessing resources, and personal planning with culturally grounded support. Number 2, reducing isolation through social evenings, sharing food, laughs, and stories, and enjoying cultural presentations and activities. And finally, number 3, engaging youth who act as buddies with older adult participants and provide practical help along with building relationships across generations. Along with 3 other community-based programs, this program is supported by the Supporting Inclusion Through Intergenerational Partnership, or SIP, project at the Schlegel UW Research Institute for Aging. SIP is funded by the Government of Canada's New Horizons for Seniors program. So today, we are privileged to hear from the Honorable Kamala Kara, Minister of Seniors. I am pleased to have the opportunity to introduce her. Minister Kara was first elected as the Member of Parliament for Brampton West in 2015 and has previously served as Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of International Development, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of National Revenue, and Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Health. Minister Kara is one of the youngest women ever elected to Parliament, a registered nurse, community volunteer, and political activist. She is passionate about improving the lives of those around her. Please join me in welcoming Minister Kara to share some remarks.
Hello, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. I was going to say I've never had quite an entrance like I did today. So I would love to do more announcements in this region if this is the love that I'll be getting. But can we get a huge round of applause to the ladies for the beautiful dance and entrance, and to our senior women. It's so good to see that you're so proudly representing your culture and for the love and honor that you've given me. So thank you so much for that. Also, before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather today is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee. And allow me also to first thank the Mill Courtland Community Center for hosting us here today. It's a great pleasure to be here. I also want to take an opportunity to thank my good friend and colleague, Member of Parliament from Kitchener-Conestoga, Tim Lewis, for being here. And let me tell you, I spent an entire day with Tim today. And I've obviously had the opportunity to serve with him in Ottawa, and I've gotten to know him over the few years that we've been serving together. And there is not a better representative for Kitchener-Conestoga than this guy right here. He works so tremendously hard. And I got to see, we were chatting earlier about him bragging about his community always and this region always. And that truly goes to his testament, and I got to witness that today. So thank you, Tim, for all that you do, for all your incredible hard work. And we're so honored to have individuals like Tim that I get to serve with. I also want to acknowledge my colleagues, MP Valerie Bradford and Honorable Bardies Jagger, who send their regrets. They couldn't join us today, but I know they, just as much as Tim, really care about this community and the work that all of you have been doing in support for this region. Of course, I also want to thank and acknowledge Mayor Barry for joining us. It's so good to meet you finally. I've heard such great things about you, Barry. So to the announcement. As you know, supporting older adults has been and will continue to be a key priority for our government. We know seniors are the backbone of our society and Canada's fastest growing population group in the country. We know that seniors will represent 25% of the population in Canada by 2050. That means not only do we have to look for now, but also plan for the future. We need to be ready to support an aging population, which could reach close to 11 million people within 15 years. And we need to have the right set of programs and policies in place. That means moving forward with measures to help seniors to age in their own homes for as long as possible, helping them to remain active and engaged members of their community. And I want to assure you as a Minister of Seniors that we are committed to ensuring that after a lifetime of hard work, seniors live a life that is secure and have a dignified retirement, living and filled with their family, friends, and free of constant worry about life's necessity. And we want to make sure that seniors are part of a community where they're able to form and maintain close-knit relationships while having access to a range of practical supports like those offered here at Mill Courtland Community Center. I also want to make sure that we're asking critical questions so that we're investing in research that will help us develop a deeper understanding of the unique challenges and opportunities that may lie ahead for older Canadians. Another group, of course, equally that as I know is committed to asking these critical questions about aging is sorry, I'm going to butcher the university name, I always do. Schlegel University of Waterloo Research Institute of Aging, the RIA. 4 years ago, we pledged support for one of its projects through the Pan-Canadian funding stream through the New Horizons for Seniors program. This particular program is helping seniors with mild and moderate dementia to get involved in the community programs. Let me just say this is what NHSP, the New Horizons for Funding, is all about. It is about supporting projects that truly improve the lives of quality of life of seniors and help them stay active and involved in their communities. This is the funding that we know is going to make a true difference in the lives of seniors, I know in this region, but I know the work that you're doing, the research will go beyond just that. The RIA's work in particular is extremely important. And with it being Alzheimer's Awareness Month, I think it's important that we talk about it. The fact that one of the most vulnerable groups among seniors are those living with dementia, which has a significant and growing presence in Canada. About 9 seniors are diagnosed with dementia every hour in Canada, and more than 432,000 Canadians aged 65 and older have already been diagnosed. And right here in this region of Kitchener-Waterloo alone, more than 13,000 people over the age of 65 are living with dementia. So it's important to point out that the work that RIA is doing, it's not doing this work alone. It's collaborating with its partners, the African Family Revival Organization, the Alzheimer's Society of Waterloo Region, the Conestoga College, and the Parkwood Seniors Community. This project is bridging the gaps between research, education, and practice in communities across the Waterloo region. And I think these efforts are so important because we need this all hands on deck approach to continue to make sure that we're solving these unique challenges of the aging population. In particular also, I do want to give a huge shout out to the African Family Revival Organization, AFRO, for its support through the Generations Project, which seeks to reduce social isolation by providing culturally informed support to Black, African, and new immigrant older adults living with dementia. I find it so amazing that this project builds that intergenerational relationship so that youth volunteers act as buddies with older adults participants so that they can provide practical help to seniors. And I had the opportunity just before this to have this conversation with seniors as well as our young volunteers and talk about what that intergenerational work means. And it's so great to kind of see that firsthand in this community right here. And you know, these are just few stories, but they aren't so common. There are thousands of stories just like this, and that's why we're so keen to supporting projects through the New Horizons for Seniors program. Last year, I announced an investment of $61 million in funding over 3,000 community-based projects across Canada. This includes almost $21.9 million for over 1,000 projects across Ontario, and with $475,000 to fund 22 projects right here in Kitchener-Waterloo, many of which I know that are able to join us today. And I do want to take a moment just to recognize the work of the organizations that here in Kitchener-Waterloo do in supporting seniors at the ground, at the grassroots, because there's nothing like it. I mean, I've had the opportunity to be in the region the entire day today, and I got to see and talk to seniors in this region, and the work that you're doing is truly making a difference in the lives of seniors in this region. We also know right now, Canadians and seniors in particular are facing many challenges, particularly when it comes to affordability. And as a government, I want you to know that we're determined to make life more affordable for Canadians. And that's why, you know, when the House returned in the fall, one of the first pieces of legislation that our government put forward was an affordability legislation that made sure that we're doubling the GST tax credit for 6 months, putting an average of $225 extra in the pockets of seniors. We're also delivering a one-time top-up of $500 through the Canada Housing Benefit to nearly 2 million low-income renters, many of whom who are seniors struggling with the high cost of housing. And I do want to remind everyone that the application period for that is now open till Friday, March 31st of this year. So please, if you haven't applied for that, you can definitely take advantage of that. This also builds on the work that our government has been doing from the very beginning. You know, when we first restored the age of eligibility for retirement back to 65 from 67, and the fact that this last July, we made a historic increase to the old age security pension by 10% for those seniors age 75 and older, because we know seniors in Canada are living longer, which is a good thing. But we also need to make sure that they have those supports and programming, particularly that financial support into those aging years. We also increased the guaranteed income supplement for some of the lowest income single seniors, benefiting close to 900,000 vulnerable seniors across Canada. And just because of this measure, we were able to lift 45,000 seniors out of poverty. And importantly, I think it's important to recognize, and I hope this gives some clarity, all the government benefits such as the old age security, the guaranteed income supplement, the CPP, also, they're all indexed to inflation. So these benefits are keeping up with the cost of living. Because at the end of the day, the future of aging in Canada is everybody's future. And that's why collaborating to help vulnerable seniors has never been more relevant. And that's why it's so wonderful to have all these organizations that I know have been doing wonderful work in the community. So I do want to say on behalf of the Government of Canada, thank you for all the work that you're doing. And I hope that we can continue to work together. And I want to congratulate to all the organizations in Kitchener-Waterloo and across Ontario who received the New Horizons for Seniors funding, because the work that you do truly makes a difference in the lives of hundreds and thousands of seniors across Ontario, but particularly across Canada. So thank you very much. I wish you all the best, and I look forward to hearing some of those testimonies later on today.
Thank you, Minister Ccwaa. Can we get one more round of applause for Minister Ccwaa? Beautiful. I would now like to welcome Tim Lewis, Member of Parliament for Kitchener-Conestoga, to the podium.
Well, I thank you all for being here. On a cold day, my heart is warm. The dancing and the camaraderie, the stories and the passion that everyone is displaying, it just warms us. And I want to thank Minister Ccwaa. Thank you for being here. It means the world to me. It means the world to our community. And I can say on behalf of both of us here, it means so much to us to see the programs that we are hearing about and advocating for to be right on the ground and see how it affects and helps our communities. It's just so warming. So I very, very much appreciate that. We're so fortunate to have organizations like yours here in our community. And I'm so proud of the New Horizons program for seniors, because it's about helping improve quality of life, and you know how best to do that. And I see this intergenerational help where we have younger volunteers who are getting mentored by an older generation, and the older generation is sharing knowledge and helping each other out. It's exactly what we would need in our community. So, and also, as I see you dancing, we realize how important it is to stay active. We were talking before, and we were talking to friends who said we were home alone and we wanted to get out and we wanted to see each other. And so programs like this allow everyone to come out and dance together and sing together. It means so much. It's such a meaningful role. So after a lifetime of hard work, our seniors deserve this. They deserve a life that is not to be worried about the constant necessities, and we have to value their contributions. So by supporting projects like this, we're ensuring that you seniors are receiving the respect, the recognition and the admiration that you deserve for raising us and building this great nation. So after a lifetime of work, you deserve this, and I couldn't be more proud to be here. So Minister, thank you for your visit, and again, thank you for warming my heart today.
Thank you, MP Lewis. I would now like to introduce the Mayor, Barry Verbanovic, to the stage.
Well, thank you very much, Nasser. And you know, when I woke up this morning, all over the radio, they were saying it was a Blue Monday. But let me tell you, they clearly weren't coming to the Mill Courtland Community Center and spending Monday afternoon with all of you. What an awesome afternoon, isn't it, everyone? Minister Ccwaa, welcome to Kitchener, and I really want to take this opportunity to thank you, the federal government, and all of our local members of Parliament, who I know work tirelessly on behalf of Canadians, and for the hard work you put into today's New Horizons for Seniors program announcement. Minister Ccwaa, as was pointed out, you're one of the youngest women ever elected, and your experience as a nurse towards health and well-being is so important to the portfolio that you have in looking after our older adults, not just here in Kitchener, but across Canada. And so we thank you for your service. Tim Lewis has been one of the most incredible members of Parliament. He works tirelessly, and as the minister said, he is constantly asking us how he can promote Kitchener, how he can promote Waterloo Region, how he can promote Kitchener-Conestoga riding. And together with the Honourable Bardish Chagger, Valerie Bradford and Brian May, he works tirelessly as part of the government, along with opposition MP Mike Morris, to represent this area in Ottawa. I want to welcome everyone to the Mill Courtland Community Centre and say how proud I know our staff team are to be hosting this event today. At the City of Kitchener, we're committed to creating a community where we can all both live well and age well. To do this, we strive to offer opportunities for older adults to participate in programs aimed at wellness, active living, learning, and connections. And so the New Horizons for Seniors program funding that's been talked about has been so important to the city over the past number of years. Through things like the Tech Connects program, which allowed us to offer digital lending library and free tech training, as well as our Bits and Bytes new tech playground for older adults. The program has also supported a raised accessible flower bed at the Downtown Community Center and the FM equipment to support accessibility for those who are hard of hearing and need that in order to participate. And during the pandemic, the program provided critical funding which allowed us to support and reach out to some of the most isolated older adults through the Kitchener Tech Connects program. In fact, since January of 2021, 477 seniors accessed more than 180 tech courses that saw an impressive 1,309 registrations, and literally hundreds of people were connected with during the pandemic. And so all of this is because of the kind of programming and announcements that you made today, Minister. Today I'm excited to be here with my good friend Mona Laufelman and the African Family Revival Organization, who has been doing such good work in the community together with the Highland Sterling Community Group. And I think as you saw today, you saw the importance of what can be achieved when we have older adults and young people come together through intergenerational programming that makes a difference in all of their lives. And so I want to really congratulate and thank Mona. And Mona's son is beside her, and I said, Mona used to bring him when he was little to all the meetings and different things as Afro was starting out. Don't be embarrassed. My mom does this kind of thing to me all the time. But I think it really speaks to the passion that Mona has for the community and why programs like the New Horizons program are so important, so that she can do the great work that she's doing with all of the participants and all of the volunteers who are part of the program. So Minister, on behalf of all of us at the City of Kitchener, to you, to Tim, to the area MPs, thank you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for your belief in this program, in this center. And I know that together we can continue to do great things together with some of the other partners like RIA and others who are here today as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I would now like to introduce Tina Ma, the Executive Director at the Schlegel UW Research Institute for Aging.
Thank you, Nasir, and thank you, Mona, and the entire team at the African Family Revival Organization for hosting this event. I'm so pleased to be here on behalf of the Schlegel UW Research Institute for Aging to thank the Minister and the Government of Canada's New Horizons for Seniors program for the significant funding award from a couple of years ago. Though we are here at the Cortland Community Center, I'd also like to acknowledge that we at the RIA is located on the traditional territory of the Attawandaran, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples, and the RIA is situated on the Haldeman Track, the land promised to the Six Nations. That includes the 6 miles of each side of the Grand River. Research tells us that many older adults, particularly those living with dementia, experience social isolation. And COVID-19 pandemic certainly exacerbated and made that so much more difficult for many. And that was really talked about in the pre-meeting with the seniors here, that they've had that experience of isolation and was so joyful when they could come together through this program at AFRO. We have truly, all of us have an understanding of how important it is, these connections that we can make with people. And as much as technology can connect us as that, little bridge, when we can actually be together and dance together. I loved that spontaneous dance that you did there, Minister. It was wonderful and beautiful. The joy that came to everybody's faces just to be together was phenomenal. And so at the RIA, we have world-class researchers in dementia, such as our Schlegel Research Chair in Dementia and Scientific Director of our Murray Alzheimer's Research Education Program, Dr. Carrie McKaney, who is here with us today. She's been exploring and investigating the fundamental importance of connection and the benefits of connecting older adults in their community. I think it's clear to all of us who are in this room, we're probably aware of this, but I think we need to spread the word that the wisdom of our elders is probably one of our untapped treasures in our society today. And so I encourage all of us to continue on that belief and really interact and engage with our older adults, because they have so much wisdom for all of us. Our work in partnering with the community to enhance the quality of life and care for older adults is guided by this research. The RIA is tremendously impacted and just so wonderful to see the results of the application of the New Horizons for Seniors program in terms of addressing social isolation among older adults living with dementia. I also had my moment of joy before you arrived, Minister, where Mona introduced me, new to the seniors, and I think the revelation or that in-person experience of joy that I felt was that, well, Mona, you said, well, Tina, you're from the RIA, which was part of, we had the grant and we granted the money to Afro, and the joy. And it wasn't because of the quote-unquote money. I think it was the opportunity and the bringing together of people. So I think that's a real value, and thanks, Mona, for your leadership in bringing that together. The goals of this program really are emulated in what you see here today. They share time, skills, and experience, and build relationships with one another as important goals of the program. And so it's so valuable to see that come through even as we're partway through the program today. And over the last 2 years, more than 1,000 community members have taken part in RIA SIP supported projects across the region. As has been identified, there's 4 in the Waterloo region. We have consistently heard from participants that the SIP-funded programs have allowed them to grow relationships with other participants and facilitators, build new skills, become more independent in daily living activities, and very importantly, more independent in accessing healthcare. So thanks to the leadership and support from Minister Ccwaa and the Government of Canada, SIP is looking to the future to support community partners in developing those sustainability plans that will see and ensure that these elements that have been built through these programs will thrive in our community for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. I would now like to introduce Dorcas Diangui. Dorcas is actually a friend of Afro who also serves on the board of directors for Afro.
Hello, everybody. I think I would first like to start by asking us to give a good round of applause to our seniors for the welcome, for the singing. Very heartwarming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, we can't forget the youth. I want to thank Minister Ccwaa, who is here with us tonight. Thank you for joining us. Mayor Berry and MP Louis and everybody, thank you for being here this evening. And we wish to welcome you once again to our community with open arms anytime. As you've heard, my name is Dorcas Diangui. I'm a registered nurse by profession and a former board member for Afro. I had to leave because of school commitments and work commitments, but I still work very closely with Mona because this work is also part of my heart, being in the profession that I am in. I met Mona, the executive director for Afro, during the height of the pandemic in 2020, when she was frantically looking for Black nurses who could be at the forefront of helping with COVID testing and reaching out to Black folks in the community to get tested. She approached myself and a couple of other Black nurses to ask if we could help, and we did not hesitate to tell her that we could. Working in local hospitals, we had seen how Black people were coming in large numbers infected by COVID, and we knew it was time to roll up our sleeves and help. AFRO stands for African Family Revival Organization. It is a nonprofit organization founded by Mona in 2015 with a friend after realizing how Black community in the region was quite misrepresented. AFRO runs 6 programs that include a seniors and youth program that supports Black seniors living with dementia and with their caregivers navigate and access cultural-based resources to help them cope and manage with the disease. The program engages Black youth who provide help to the seniors as well as build long-lasting relationships with them, like we've heard. The program hosts in-person social evenings. Usually they are Mondays. They cook, they come, they enjoy food, they enjoy music, and they just have a good time like we had today. A Black Youth Recreation Program held weekly that engages the youth in playing basketball and talking in circles is another program run by AFRO. This program aims to keep the youth off the streets. As we may know, sometimes when immigrants immigrate to any country, not just Canada, the children can be affected in one way or another trying to fit into a culture that they may not know. So what AFRO has done is get some of these kids off the streets who otherwise could be running in trouble because they're just trying to fit in a new culture, trying to figure things out. And it has really helped these kids come here, get engaged, tell stories, play basketball, and actually progress into their education and join colleges and universities. So, great work. A cultural enrichment program that helps newly migrated Black youth strengthens their ties to their new culture as well as maintain their own culture. A Black mental health program, an after-school program that promotes mental health and well-being of Black children and teenagers in the region. This is particularly, especially with post-pandemic, where we've seen a lot of mental health issues explode, not only with adults, but with children. Sometimes Black children or any children who otherwise are not majority or minority children do not always talk about their mental health. And so a program like AFRO being at the forefront to cater for these very important wellness is very important. And that is one thing that AFRO has really done, bring out youth, give them the space to talk about their mental health without feeling stigmatized and actually open up and ask for help. So that is one other positive thing about AFRO that really also touches my heart because my background lies in mental health. So thank you for that. Empowering Girls program that seeks to help Black girls recognize and utilize their strengths to build skills such as self-help skills in order to boost their self-esteem. Another thing we see in our communities often is going back to children immigrating here, trying to fit in a culture that sometimes they're not, probably accepted or they feel they're not accepted. They may engage in things, to catch attention, behaviors that are probably getting them into trouble. So what AFRO has done is getting some of these girls, doing activities with them, helping them empowering them to do skills that they can actually use for themselves and also go out and help other girls. Parents School Knowledge Initiative program that hosts knowledge sessions for Black newcomers to learn how to navigate the school system and how to access resources to be able to help their children in schools. So when we migrate here as immigrants, sometimes we don't know the language. Sometimes people do speak English, sometimes people don't. So what AFRO has done is work together with the school community to ensure that parents of immigrant parents who are arriving here are embraced. They're taught how the school system works, so then they can be able to help their children when they go home with their homework, how to navigate the system. How do I read the report card, which looks very different from where I come from? How is it how these children, we can help them instead of, saying they're being in trouble in school, but actually they're just not understanding what is going on. But that cannot happen if the parents are not understanding the system. So Afro has taken that piece, worked with the school district board, and helped parents of such kind get on board and be able to help these children to be able to understand and actually go home, help with their homework. And it actually has really, really been a positive effect on some of these kids. Afro has won many accolades for the work it's done across the region for the Black community, but accomplishing this work would not be possible without the dedicated partners like the Family and Children Services, Resilience Project, Kind Minds Family Wellness, Muslim Social Services, Hummingbird Center for Hope, Canadian Aware Youth Association, Coalition of Muslim Women of Kitchener-Waterloo, Ethiopian Association of KW, and Eritrean Islamic Association of KW, who have partnered with the organization, and I would really like to thank them on behalf of Afro. The good work the organization does would not be also possible without the financial help of government and community entities who help fund these programs. And for this, I would like to sincerely thank the Government of Canada's New Horizon for Seniors program, the Hormones Foundation, Kitchener-Waterloo Community Foundation, United Way, Canadian Red Cross, Upstream Fund from Region of Waterloo Resilience Project with Family and Children Services of Waterloo Region. And I cannot forget to thank Mona, who formed this organization from a small room in her house, and look where we are now. So thank you for that. Afro looks forward to continue to support the Black community in this region for the future to come. Not only what we have mentioned are the 6 programs, we look into growing, embracing more, and contributing for the Black community to contribute to this wonderful region in a significant way. With these few remarks, I would like to invite Adeline, who is one of the senior participants in the program, to share her story of how Afro has changed her life. So let's give an applause for Adeline.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh boy, Mona, is your heart settled now? She's a rock. I met Mona 2 years ago, and when I met Mona, she was introduced to me by a lady from my church, which is here right now, Mrs. Vanderpool. Will you just wave your hands? So because of Miss Vanderpool, Mona came into my life. And when Mona came into my life, she brought me her. She means a lot to me. When they started to visit me, I was unable to walk. I was unable to clean my house. And this little girl, she has done more. I see her more. She calls me, her parents knows me, they don't object whenever she has to come. And it's all because of Afro. I love her. I know. So with the program that Mona started, I keep telling her we need to expand because I know that there's still a lot of seniors that is still in their homes, not getting out. And whatever I have to do to help her, I'll help her because of what it has done for me. It makes me walk again. It makes me go to the grocery store. Whenever we're in the grocery store, if Mona and I is in the grocery store, oh, that's your mother. And she says, yes, that's my mother. Yes. So the volunteers has been our help. And we need to find more volunteers, like my little princess here. Because she has something that I know it is still out there that we can work with, right? I am not the only one want to succeed. Sometimes when my friends are here and they start to tell us about being lonely, we cry for each other because we can't help each other. The only thing we can do is when we get here, the dancing, the exercise, the stories, pictures being seen by their grandkids and stuff like that. Those are the things that allow us here. But we have to separate. And that's the hardest part. We want people to come and visit us. We need just those little things which are important. We need more volunteers, more help for Mona. We need a vehicle. We need our own building. We need our own building, and we need our own vehicle. And I know that we'll get it. We'll get it. If I have to knock at Mr. Mayor's door to get it, he knows me now, so we'll knock at the doors. But in saying this, being old is not easy. Being retired is not easy. If you don't have something to do, that's when the mental health and everything comes in, and that's when Alzheimer's kick in and saying you have dementia. But sometimes it's not dementia, it's because we stop feeling, we stop associating, we're just locked, and there's nowhere to come out. I felt it, and I know it, and it's not good. And I hope and pray that the promises that we hear today, they will come true, and that, my friends, when they reach that stage, we one day can say, yes, the promises have come true. So on behalf of my counterparts, we've done it, right? We have done it. And Mona, God bless you. Miss our children, them, God bless them. And we will always be the smile on her face, over her shoulder, looking out. Thank you all for coming. And always remember, Afro. We stand for greatness. We stand for fighters. And I know we can fight because your feet are still moving. So God bless everybody. And thanks again. Come, my darling, give me my walker. Yes. My little princess. Come on. Mommy, go back to your seat.
Wow. Can we get one more round of applause for lovely Miss Adeline? Well, what a way to conclude today's event, eh? On behalf of Afro and as your MC tonight, I would like to thank all of the speakers for being here. I would like to thank all of you for in attendance. Give yourselves an applause. Let's give yourselves an applause. So the dignitaries will be available now for questions from the media before the group photo. So I will now turn it over to Allison Levesque to moderate questions from the media. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Allison. So we'll start just by question in the room. If there are any questions from media, you can come to the mic. All right, we can move on to the question on the Zoom call if there are.
Hi everyone, there are no questions on Zoom, and I think with that, this concludes today's event. Thank you very much for coming, everyone.